Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, comrades and friends, my name is Dr. Phillips, and today we have some more breaking news for you guys. Donald Trump is coming out against free speech yet again, every single time. It's always free speech for me, not for thee. And we have a nice little clip of him saying that, quote, when 97% of the stories are bad about a person, that's no longer free speech, end quote. And this is, of course, in reference to himself because this guy can never do anything good in the media. And that's not just me saying that. I mean, this is, bombing 7 countries as the no new war president, supporting 3 proxy wars, stripping away 17 million people away from healthcare with the big, beautiful bill. That is not supporting common sense gun legislation. I mean, every little thing this guy does turns to absolute shit. And now we got him, being upset about this, saying like, this can't be free speech, bro. There's no way that's free. It can't be fucking be, dude, bro. Like, how are you gonna, criticize Hitler, bro? Like, if 97% of stories about Hitler are bad, then that's not free speech, bro. That's essentially what he's saying here, dude. Except obviously in this case, the Hitler is himself. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and throw the Hitler analogy out right now, this exact second, but there are some similarities to a lot of the authoritarian dictators of the 1930s and 1940s, that we see here with Trump. And again, I was somebody who, again, I'm a historian, and I'm somebody who has been very vocal saying that that's not the case in his first term, but I think it's sort of crossed that boundary now. When you arrest journalists, when you actively preach against free speech, then all of a sudden, I'm looking at you a different way. I'm going to say, all right, like maybe this guy actually isn't, he was bad, but now he's like fucking pure evil. And so I stand by that. But we're going to play the clip for you guys here today. You guys can see it for yourself. Absolute insanity. Absolute insanity. I don't know who in their right mind would be against free speech. Oh, I know, the people who want to suppress certain opinions which are bad about themselves, so that way they can get away with literally anything. Just like Donald Trump, for example, wants to dismantle the ICC, right, the International Criminal Court, which he's actively taking steps to doing. And you guys can see that in one of my other videos here that I just uploaded this past week. It's absolute insanity, it's barbarity, but we're going to play the clip for you.
George Papadopoulos had to pay $16 million to me because of what he said. And that's ABC. You had to pay more than that. Your network had to pay more than that. So I think it's very sad. But I think that reporting has to be at least accurate to an extent. Again, when somebody is given 97% of the stories are bad about a person, that's no longer free speech. That's no longer anything. That's just cheating. And they cheat. And they become really members of the Democrat National Committee. That's what they are.
And they become members of the Democrat National Committee. They just cheat. They're cheaters. They cheat. Bro, like, what are you talking about, bro? What are you saying? And like, just some of the stuff that he says, I mean, like, it's just absolute nonsense, right? Like, obviously, the 97, percent of the, the bad stories, like, they're there for a reason. In most cases, at least with respects to what you're doing, bro. I mean, I like to think so. I mean, for God's sake, this is the guy who won the Israel Prize. He's like the only American to ever do it here. You're going to tell me that he's not like a complete sellout? He just tried to merge the United States military with Israel, like with the IDF. Like, what? Hello? Is that not crazy? It can, like, there's no way that you can say, oh, I'm an American first patriot. I'm a patriot of this country. And then you want to merge with a foreign government? What the hell is wrong with you? That's insane. That's crazy. That's diabolical. And then now, of course, we got to, fight communism on our own shores, admitted by Mike Johnson. Again, I just seen this clip yesterday talking about we need $350 billion more so that we can, in part, fight communism on our own shores. Like, what do you mean by that, bro? Like, stop suppressing free speech. This is disgusting. It's obscene. And there's absolutely no... There's no precedent for this, and there is no philosophical or moral or legal reason for this. When you think about like why the country was founded, you go all the way back to the 1700s, and you say, well, look, one of the things that we wanted to do was make it so that way anybody could speak their mind. Because when the founders, signed their name to the Declaration of Independence, they were signing their death warrant. Right? That's why everybody always says, like, give your John Hancock, right? Because John Hancock signed his name super, super big. It's actually not that big, but it is big. It was the biggest one on there. And it's give your John Hancock, because they were signing their death warrant here, for speaking out against the king and wanting that independence, right? This was treasonous activity. It's like, but now if we speak out against our king, metaphorically speaking here, Donald Trump would be our king in the United States. Now all of a sudden he's got a problem with that, right? It's like, Didn't have a problem when the founders did it to Great Britain, but now we got a problem when you do it to Donald Trump. So that's, just disgusting. I don't know. It's absolutely disgusting here. People should be protected. And, legally speaking, they are. But I see a lot of these like legal challenges in court now. They're starting to, slide back on the person, or if they do, don't slide back, then, maybe it still ruins their life beforehand. Like I've seen all types of crazy stories where like the government is now spying on people on social media accounts and using AI to flag them and report them to law enforcement for, just even discussing ideas amongst themselves on things like AI chatbots or amongst friends on places like Snapchat. It's absolutely crazy the stuff that we're doing, and it's all always in the name of public safety, right? And it's going to be under the guise of things like the Patriot Act. Like, oh yeah, like, dude, we're just protecting your freedom, bro, and we want to stop terrorism, and we want to stop, blah, 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 blah. You name it, right? It's like, but it's like, well, okay, well, who is defined as a terrorist? And like, is that just anybody that you disagree with, right? Just like how you say anybody that you disagree with is a communist. I bet you right now my like whole net worth that Trump can't even tell you the definition of communism. You were teleporting him right here. Be like, all right, give me the formal definition of communism, and how is that different than socialism, and how is that different than capitalism? Guarantee you he couldn't do it because he doesn't even know what it is. But communism has now morphed into something that is just anything that you disagree with, right? So those people now going to be labeled terrorists now. We need to be able to spy on them and violate their Fourth Amendment rights and violate their freedom of speech. It's ridiculous. It's insane. And we cannot stand for it as Americans. What happened to being America First patriots? What happened to that? I don't know. It feels like it's dead nowadays, and I'm trying to revive it back as much as we can. But it's disgusting. Disgusting. You have the President of the United States saying that just because somebody criticizes him, that's not free speech. Insane. Now, hopefully, he can never get away with this and trying to prosecute those people, but I'm sure he's going to try. This is the king of lawsuits here. Nobody's probably, tried to file more insane lawsuits than Donald Trump has. I don't know. Maybe like crazy companies like BlackRock or something. Beats me. I don't know. Allegations there that I've seen floating around the internet. But with that said, guys, if you did enjoy the video here today, leave your comments on free speech for yourself. We can have a nice little debate in the comments, a little discussion there. My name is Dr. Ian Phillips. You can follow me on social media at Ian Phillips USA for some more content. Thank you so much for 507 subscribers, and we'll talk to you later. Peace.